May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey. Happy Friday. Happy April Fool's Friday here. It is April Fool's Day, and you are no fool because you are wisely tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk. I'm your host, Scott Robertson. With me, as always, in the booth is Florentino Buenaventura from The Changing Stage.
Yo. I am here, ready and rocking, ready for some good news on how not to be an April Fool.
That's right. You do any April Fool's jokes around your family? Is it a big deal in your household, Florentino?
Not really. No. Pretty much. I scramble to get here and start the day off, and almost had an April Fool's trying to get the old system up. Love it when updates happen right when you're going to start a show. So that's always fun. That was it's like, oh man, what is this? What is this going on here? Updates. But that was my computer playing an April Fool's joke on me. But we are on time and on track. Right
on. Well, today I thought we would spend some time talking about April Fools, particularly from a PR and marketing standpoint. But definitely want to start out here on April 1st and talking about, what is it? Obviously, a lot of people know about April Fool's Day. It's a day that we, here in the United States, pull pranks on each other. Do things that aren't true. There are some funny, saran wrap on the toilet. I saw one this week that I thought was pretty funny. And it was a family that took a plate of Oreo cookies and they replaced the cream filling with toothpaste and then put it out for their kids. And I thought, that's particularly cruel, but it's also funny. And that kind of plays into the sense of humor. Some people are really into April Fool's Day. You ever have one of those coworkers and it's like, there's no holiday on the work calendar that works better for them than April Fool's Day. And if it falls on a weekend, then they're just let down because on April Fool's Day, they can, change your screensaver and, embed all your office, supplies in Jell-O. That was from The Office, by the way. Jim did that to Dwight. So April Fool's Day has particular reverence in the PR and marketing circles of late, really. And I think it comes from just sort of the desire. It just comes from it's human nature. We like to have fun as people, and that people are represented by brands, and so brands like to do things that are a little more fun. What we're going to explore today in the show, we're going to talk about some cool April Fool's items, news items from today, and we're going to talk about some that worked and some that didn't, and then we're gonna talk about just some other foolish things that are going on in the world of media and PR this week, which is always a topic where we could fill much more than an hour of time just going into that. But I've got a few good ones in segment 3 for that one, and then we're gonna end up the show just talking about how to do April Fool's gags, stunts the right way, and really it applies to any kind of PR stunt. Which April Fool's kind of falls into. So the idea of a PR stunt is to gain attention, right? It's to gain attention. It's to showcase, your brand in sort of a positive way, sort of obviously sort of a funny way, and basically show that the company has a bit of a sense of humor when you're talking about what it is that you do. Brands do it to increase their likability, and of course they do that so they can kind of increase their we want to sell you something ability. Never be deceived. That obviously there's got to be a goal at the end of the rainbow there. So why don't we get into it and talk about a few of them? There's a lot of big brands engage in it, but I think I'll spend some time just talking about a few of them in the music products industry that I saw today that were pretty interesting. The first one, as reported by ProSound News, was a press release. And editors have a good time with this stuff too. They, in fact, their lead-in on one of their stories says, on rare occasion, let's say one day every April, we get sent press releases about unusually extraordinary products. On that given day, instead of editing the information or looking closely for details, also known as, in quotes, facts, we just run these press releases as is so the public can fully appreciate these intriguing new creations in the raw without filter. of such things such as journalistic and ethical standards. So they've got kind of a disclaimer on there basically saying we are not responsible journalistically for what's about to happen here. And that's kind of fun. So the first one is a press release that came out today called Mic Drop. And it's a company, obviously, out of New York, April 1st, 2016. And they basically have a microphone that is, because of the epidemic of so many people dropping the mic after a rap battle or after a performance, that they created a disposable microphone that basically explodes on contact. And I particularly like what they say in their release. They say, eventually, after watching Mission Impossible one late night on cable, the company was inspired to create a microphone that would self-destruct. This configuration means the sound engineer doesn't have to deal with the dented or broken mics after performance because there really isn't anything left to fix, said the CEO. As a bonus, the explosion adds a nice emphasis to the performer's final comment. But you might not want to be in the first 3 rows. So it's fun stuff like that, right? It's that's sort of and I think that's cool. One thing that this is missing just a bit of is, where's the real brand behind it? Or is it just something kind of funny that, an agency's putting out or anything like that? What makes it better is if you can actually tie it to what you're actually trying to do in the world and show that, show that sense of humor in a kind of a cool way. So let's talk about I'm going to talk about one of my clients for a second, Beat Buddy. And Beat Buddy is a drum machine that guitar players can use, and they can have basically hands-free control over a live beat. Beat Buddy's really cool. So they came out with a press release today that says Singular Sound, makers of the Beat Buddy pedal-controlled drum machine, announced today that users will be able to control the sobriety level of their drum machines. And I love the quote from David Packhouse. He says, people keep telling us that playing with the Beat Buddy is just like playing with a real drummer. The only thing it doesn't do, they say, is drink all your beer. So we said, why not? If we're going to do this, we might as well go all the way. So the feature is part of a larger update to the Beat Buddy that adds many new features as requested by the fan base, such as hands-free folder navigation. And you can actually go to their website under Beat Buddy, mybeatbuddy.com/sobriety -function, and you can play with the sobriety knob and dial up your electronic drummer's level of sobriety. So it's funny, it's funny. And then what's cool about Beat Buddy is they were able to use it to kind of extend what it is that they do and show they can have a bit of fun with themselves. So let's talk about one that we did this morning with one of my clients that is BandLab. BandLab's a cloud-based digital audio workstation. You've heard it on the Changing Stage, talked about it before. And BandLab made an exciting announcement this morning that they were going to change themselves over to CatLab. Basically because most content they did a lot of research on the internet, and they found that most content involved cats in some way, and they decided to switch the entire thing over to CatLab. So they said, for too long we've heard the music industry is going to the dogs, so we've decided to investigate further, and after many hours of exhaustive research, we discovered the interwebs are to blame. It's all down to sharing, streaming, and the general demonstration or democratization, of available content. And so then they changed. And what's amazing about CatLab and the fact that it is kind of a PR stunt that we've gotten some coverage with them, and it's kind of funny, is the fact that you should go to the website go to bandlab.com today and click on CatLab and look at all the development that they've done. They've got the Game of Thrones theme done by singing cats. They've got a drum machine that's a MIDI drum machine that you can play with that plays cat sounds. I mean, the level of development that BandLab has put into this, really is extraordinary when you consider it's it's basically a PR stunt. But the idea is they're new. They want people to try out the cloud-based platform, and CatLab is a cool way to do it. And as I said, my company represents BandLab, so we're out there kind of reporting the news about the change to CatLab. So lots of good stuff going on in April Fool's Day today. Definitely wanted to talk about one more, and that's from Line 6. Line 6 makes great amplifiers and fantastic modeling guitars. And of course, they have come out with an exciting new product here on this April Fool's Day that are guitar modeling gloves for the competitive air guitarist. And they say it's called the Ariax play on the company's Variax models. And they say air guitar never felt this real. And they created these virtual reality gloves so that you can basically play air guitar with these amazing gloves. And I encourage you to check that out. It looks like something that Doc Brown would have fashioned in Back to the Future. They're basically like driving gloves that say linked Line 6, but then they have wires coming from various packs and stuff on the hands. And then I love their tagline. They say they call it the glass slipper of the guitar world. It's pretty funny. And they've developed quite a very interesting pricing and availability structure around these things too. They say that the 5-finger discount is unavailable at this time. And then they're able to say the complete Ariax system is $599, the left-handed system is $699, and for one replacement Ariax glove to play air guitar, it's $349. So they've put a lot of thought into it and built it out, and it's all in good fun. And like I said, you'd just be amazed at how much work, and that's just a small sampling of the stuff going on. I saw that Seymour Duncan came out with some Chewbacca pickups that were furry and had some fur on them. So that's pretty cool. So April Fool's is a big deal in marketing, right? And it's fun, and we have a great time. And speaking of that, I'm going to leave you with some commercial messages right now. And you are tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk. We'll see you in segment 2 and talk about April Fool's Day a little bit more coming up. See ya.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
The richness of your life is reflected in the shimmering elegance found at Diolune Design. One-of-a-kind jewelry and pieces from Cynthia Dillon in silver and gold help to express your unique personality. The flowing designs of her creations will empower the way you move throughout your day. Join us online at DIOLUNdesigns.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page, mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
In the military, things can change in an instant. At Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey, you are back on April Fool's Friday, and you are tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the leader, the undisputed leader, for my money, the real leader in music biz talk. And I'm your host, Scott Robertson. With me in the booth, making all the buttons and dials blink in perfect synchronicity, is Florentino Buenaventura, the demigod of music and technology. How's it going, Florentino?
It's awesome. I think we should be the undisputed leaders in music cat talk. I think we want to throw that cat thing in there, man. I think that would, I think we would be more recognized on the internet if we throw that cat piece in there.
Dude, cats. I mean, cats, and also baby elephants. I find that content involving baby elephants, it's hard to look away because they just want to like get on top of people, and it's just, you just want to see what happens, And of course they weigh like, 300-400 pounds. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, hey man, we are the, Enter Cat Radio. We'll just keep going with it, man. The whole thing. So great first episode, or first segment, I should say. And I'm looking forward to more.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're talking about PR stunts, and specifically we're talking about April Fool's stunts. And we want to continue just talking about a few things that are out there in the atmosphere today. And one thing that certainly caught my eye today was the fact that Guns N' Roses, you remember them, they announced a surprise show today at the Troubadour that supposedly is going to take place tonight. So, and this was reported by all kinds of outlets all over Los Angeles today. Guns N' Roses set to play Friday, April 1st, back where it all began, the Troubadour. The band announced the gig early Friday and said a limited number of tickets would be available beginning at noon at the Gibson Brands store, which is formerly Tower Records on Sunset Boulevard. Tickets are $10, cash only, and limited to one per person. Now, and this brings us up to an interesting point. If you have first of all, we don't know if this story is real or not, right? It comes out on April 1st. Tickets are $10. Guns N' Roses, who last thing I saw was that Axl Rose is, playing with AC/DC now, but then they said, hey, no, they are together for Coachella. They are going to come together and do something for Coachella. And it's possible that I just may have lost track of Guns N' Roses in my travels. But, so we don't know if this story is real or not. And which is problematic for you if you're like, see it and say, I would like to go see Guns N' Roses. However, do I want to go down to Sunset Boulevard today and get these tickets that are supposedly $10 at the Gibson Brand store when this might be a gigantic hoax? So I always advise my clients, April 1st comes up all the time if you're in PR. Just seems like, it just always comes up on the calendar. It's like doing a holiday gift program around the Christmas holidays or something. But, I always advise my clients, if you have actual news, you might want to hold that until a few days after April 1st, just given what everybody else is going to be doing. And then, and also on social media, this is not a good day to react to any stories that you're going to see on social media because they're probably false. Odds are good on any day that a story that is shared on social media could be false, but today it's darn near a lock that it's going to be false. So it's kind of an interesting challenge, right? I'm interested to see if this Guns N' Roses show is real or not, because it very well could be real, and they very well could be doing this show tonight. It is reported on Fox 11 News. It has been reported in a bunch of different media outlets all over Los Angeles today. So anyway, go check that out and see what you think. And if you want to go see Guns N' Roses and you're in San Diego area, you need to hoof it, make it happen. Let's talk about another one that happened today. Let's talk about when sometimes they don't go right. Google. Google thought it would be kind of funny to do a thing with their Gmail service, which has, I believe, just around 1 billion users use the free email service Gmail. And Google put a button on it this morning that was like, that said "drop the mic," and it was kind of funny. And basically, what they did was they placed a little joke, drop the mic button right next to the regular send button as an April 1st gag, right? And then the joke button that would insert into the email message a little animation like a minion from the movie Minions and from the the DreamWorks franchise with the Minions, dropping a microphone and a gesture basically to show you, hey, that's the last word in any exchange, and then would mute the email conversation, which is mute is a feature they actually have that kind of starts to hide conversations you don't want to follow. So early this morning, see, here's the problem. You got 1 billion users and you create a drop the mic button. But lots of other people are using Gmail, to send and receive email. And especially since it doesn't, it prevents future responses, that can be a tad problematic talking in email. So Google had to respond very, very quickly. They removed the joke button. They apologized for all the problems that they caused for people. And basically, even a small misfire, when you serve 1 billion people, a small misfire is a big deal. So lots of Google product forums are very active, and there's lots of people, especially people who use Gmail for work, that did not find it funny at all. And so this is an important thing to keep in mind, right? We always talk on this show and with my clients, I always talk about, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. April Fool's is definitely an environment for that kind of thinking to be taking place. If you're Google and you're sitting in the room and somebody says, hey, I've got a great idea, let's put this drop the mic button on our Gmail, that's the appropriate time for someone, maybe they're in PR, maybe they're just a smart person that's paying attention, to raise their hand and say, so guys, we have like 1 billion users. And when we make a change to our fundamental service that they're relying on, and there's any chance that this could go wrong for them, then, and thus for us, by the way, then perhaps we should, take the extra step and sort of think it through. Obviously their intentions were good. They were trying to kind of be funny. They were trying to show, hey, we've got a sense of humor and look what we can do and all this kind of stuff. But they really messed some people up. There's one guy that was on the Google forums that was saying that he was having communications with a company that he's been interviewing with for 3 months now using his Gmail account, and he mistakenly sent a drop the mic email to the director of HR. So that's, that could cost this guy the job. It could cost them the job, or, you never know on the other end what that looks like. And plus, since it muted the conversation afterwards, if they, responded back to him, hey, we'd like to make you an offer, he didn't get that message. So, that's, it's probably not the wisest thing in the world for Google to have done with one of their core properties. So, I'm going to get into in the fourth segment about sort of how you can plan for stunts and the right way to do stunts and that sort of thing. But one thing that and it really does sound like common sense. However, Google's a really big company, folks. They have they have a campus that's bigger than most neighborhoods, and that's a big mistake for nobody to be thinking that all the way through. And like I said, best of intentions, but not great execution. And so, and you see that sometimes, I see that all the time from companies that have, technology companies that say, well, what if we made this change? Like, let's go back to BandLab for a second. They did a whole bunch of development. If you go up to the site, you can see all these songs that they developed with cat noises and all these kind of things. But what's important about BandLab is they didn't want to, there are people that are using the service right now and that are logging in and doing their music, and the cat thing is funny, but they want to record their music and that sort of thing. So it cannot interrupt what it is that you actually do, and you have to think those things all the way through and sort of, separate it. So I really do think, in marketing, I always talk about, there's not quite enough thinking that goes on, and you can see evidence of it all the time. You can see evidence of usually after, bad things like this happen, you're like, well, surely they would have, thought that through. But, they didn't. They didn't. They launched this. They launched a new feature for 1 billion people that caused the internet to sort of erupt negatively towards them. So had they done nothing, brand reputation is fully intact for Google. It's just another day. They just keep on making money and everybody's happy and everything is rocking. But because they chose to do this, they've kind of put themselves out there. And that's kind of an interesting point too, that sometimes the decision not to communicate at all it can be the right one, can actually, lead you to a better conclusion than if you were to do something and something were to go badly. It's kind of like what Stephen Covey talks about in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he talks about in negotiations, he talks about sometimes no deal is better than a bad deal. Well, the same thing in communications. Sometimes no communications can be much better than communications that lead to a bad place. And, Google found that out, and maybe they should have done something with like an exploding microphone. That would have been pretty cool, like the guys we talked about in the first segment. April Fool's Day, it can go great for you. It can be a lot of fun. It can also, it can also bring problems, as these folks at Google found out today. So come on back in the third segment. We are going to talk about some of the other stuff that's going on, the foolish stuff going on in the world. Right now, you're tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk. Come on back for segment 3. We'll have some fun.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
One person has the power to change the world, impact millions of lives, and leave a legacy for lifetimes to come. That person is you. In the New York Times bestseller, What is Your What?, Steve Olsher, award-winning author and founder of the Reinvention Workshop, reveals his proven process that has helped thousands of men and women discover, share, and monetize the one thing they were born to do. Grab your free copy now at www.whatisyourwhat.com/free. That's www.whatisyourwhat.com/free.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit BizVidCommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID Communications.com.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy April Fool's Friday. You are still wisely tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk. And I'm your host, Scott Robertson. With me, as always, is Florentino Buenaventura, the undisputed god of the mixing board back in the studio. How's it going, Florentino?
I dispute that, man. Yeah. Yeah, I was reading about that whole Google thing, man. That's just
what a mess.
Even the big dogs can run into some real problems, and yeah, like you said, you want to think through some of these things first before you start putting those out there.
Ooh. Oh, no kidding. I feel so bad for the dude that was trying to get a job, and he's, he's been out of work for a long time. He's been interviewing with this company for 3 months. He's communicating with them via Gmail, and then he sends it, and Google puts a little minion mic drop. I mean, we don't know what kind of job it was or whatever, but assuming that was probably not what you would choose to do if you had the choice.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, there might be a position open at Google, though, now.
Google PR director.
Yes.
What? Yes, wanted. Absolutely. Well, cool. Let's. So we're talking about April Fool's Day. We're talking about stunts. We're talking about PR's dubious role in all of this April Foolishness. And let's talk about. I just want to shift gears for a second and talk about some things that are really dumb enough that they absolutely could be April Fool's jokes, but they're actually real things going on. And I called this part of this segment "Regular Fools." So, first of all, let's talk about Jay-Z. Jay-Z now says that the firm who sold him Tidal inflated their subscriber data. Okay, so this is being widely reported. And Jay-Z apparently has some buyer's remorse with buying Tidal, which, of course, he widely proclaimed was going to change the entire nature of the music business. And he's Jay-Z, so why not believe that? So basically, it's been a year since he bought Tidal in a $56 million transaction. The hip-hop mogul now is going after the previous owners for compensation. They basically sent a letter to the company that started Tidal, Schibsted ASA, Norwegian media company, accusing them of overstating their subscriber numbers when the deal went through. So the letter says... It became clear after taking control of Tidal and conducting our own audit that the total number of subscribers was actually well below the 540,000 reported to us by prior owners, Tidal said. And as a result, we're now served the legal notice to parties involved in the sale. A lot of reasons that this is bad for Tidal. Obviously, Tidal's struggling anyway. But one of the reasons that Tidal is struggling is the fact that they didn't really have their finger on the pulse of what people would and would not pay for. And that's what we like to call here in this room marketing, right there. That's the definition of marketing: listening to the market, understanding what the market will pay, and then messaging things out. So here's a good piece here from their from the story. They basically said that they overestimated people's ability to pay for a streaming service. Here we go. The key to a streaming business is scale, they said in a March 30th email. Tidal is holding itself out to the market as a service that offers a high-quality streams, but there are only a certain limited number of music buffs that care enough to pay the premium associated with it. See, this is something that you take care of in the test marketing phase of a product launch, right? You don't find out that people aren't going to pay for what you are doing a year later. That is a bad way to spend I don't have $56 million. That's not how I would spend it if I did. Research, and we should probably do an entire show devoted to research because it's really important. I mean, it's really important. I know that people just want to skip right to the point where the New York Times covers you and you become a great hero and then you drop the mic. But in my experience, a little bit of research goes a long way. And real marketers out there will always fall back on, you're part artist and you're part scientist, right? And the scientist part of you kind of goes, well, what do we know? What's the data say? What does the market say? You're always looking, for these data points and that kind of thing. And the artist from you says, okay, so now how do we craft, a message and something, that's going to be creative, that's going to reach our customer and be able to kind of do that. Marketing is always a bit of both. And that's why you sometimes see marketing departments that have both types of people. You have your analytic, researcher, detail-oriented people. And boy, could Google have used a bunch of those people in the room, by the way? Come on. I mean, they're the first people in the room, by the way, when you raise your hand and go, hey, we're going to put a little Minions drop the mic button on our service for all of our billion email users, right? And usually your analytic people raise their hands right then and go, that's a wonderful.
Scott, I'm going to interrupt you here for a second. We're having some technical difficulties. It looks like we're having some bandwidth. Yeah, April Fool's, right? Skype is playing a little trick on us. If you wouldn't mind hanging up and reconnecting, I would love to talk to the folks here a little bit about what's going on. That way we can clear up the audio. So, folks, sometimes we have these technical difficulties. Scott is remoting in, as we would like to call it. And this has been Intertalk Radio, your worldwide leader in Internet talk radio. Some of the things that we'd like to let you know is we're not just one show. We're multiple shows. As Scott has mentioned, I am the host of Changing Stage Radio Show as well as Ban Diego, and us also we've got a number of shows that are happening. We've got coming up this Saturday. We've got a special broadcast of Jackie Bertoni with Paris Escovedo of the lovely Escovedo family. You might know that family name.
Very cool, awesome.
You know what? I think we've got another one that's kind of coming through here. Let's both try to reconnect and see what can happen with that technology. You're still garbled there a little bit, Mr. Scott.
Okay, you got it, man.
So,
call it back.
So, yeah, folks, as things go, with a number of different shows that we have coming out, we are growing this network to be really, really a powerful, powerful network. And we hope that you folks will tune into the other shows. If you go to Intertalk Radio at intertalkradio.com, you'll find that we have a plethora of programming there. So, we have our other shows. I've got a Changing Stage show where we're going to be talking with our latest show coming up on Monday, which is the good and great Tim Dolbear. Tim Dolbear is a leader in studio work. He's a mixing engineer. He's played guitar for Sammy Hagar, and amazingly, he is. Agreed to do a show with us. He's also a writer for Mix Magazine, and it's all about the studio industry. So I'm trying to do a couple of different things at the same time. Let's see if Scott's
man. I'm back.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, sometimes that technology kind of likes to take a little dip there, and we were just talking about our next show that's coming up, which is Sound Experience with Tim Dolbear, and he's going to be on the Changing Stage talking about his show on Saturday at 11 a.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. Fantastic. And he's going to be coming on Monday after Jackie Bertoni's show, which will have like I said, Jackie's got two shows coming up this week. Paris Escovedo at 1, and then he also has he's got another show on Monday at 2, and then again we've got Girls Talk Rock on at 6 o'clock, and a new time for our new branded show. Music Gear Talk will be now Music Gear Mojo, because it's all about the mojo that's happening. And that's going to be at 4 o'clock, and of course this awesome show that happens every Friday at 2 p.m.
Even on April Fool's Day. And we were talking about Jay-Z. And all the problems that Jay-Z's having with Tidal, man. Come on. It's crazy.
Yeah. Continue on, sir. It's been a great show so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were just talking about Jay-Z, and we're talking about the fact that, from a marketing perspective, this is a bad message to put out. Because if you're struggling and you're having trouble getting people to pay for something that's a premium experience, really the last thing in the world that you want to do is put out PR and widely covered stories that you are unhappy with the service that you bought. Because if you're unhappy with it, is anyone else going to be happy with it now that you're behind it? That sort of thing. So it really looks like they're kind of cutting their losses, and we're witnessing sort of the last days of Tidal. The other thing I want to talk about in kind of the regular fools segment here is the New York Times and the NFL have been going at each other this week. And basically the National Football League asked the New York Times to retract a story about their deeply flawed concussion research, what they call deeply flawed concussion research. So you know, and the NFL makes more stupid PR mistakes than any single organization I can name. But this one, and they're, gigantic. They have rooms full of people that do what I do for a living, but man, they trip over themselves. There is no such thing as a retraction in 2016. Say it with me. If a story appears, it's out. They cannot retract it. That does not exist. That is not a thing that happens in our world today. It's insane. And the New York Times basically said, they just burned him again. Basically, the lawyers sent them a letter and said, you need to retract this or we're going to sue you. And the New York Times said, we stand by our story. We stand by our research. And the NFL looked really stupid, which they do on a regular basis. But I urge you, I don't have a ton of time to get into it other than to say there's no such thing as retractions, NFL. And there is, it's the absolute, there's no way that could be any more wrong from a PR perspective than to contact the paper and say, you guys got it wrong, that kind of thing. Well, come on back in segment 4. We're going to talk about how to do April Fools and PR stunts the right way. Right now, you are very wisely tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Attention business owners. Does it feel like your business owns you? See if you qualify for a free 90-minute business coaching session to help you build a business, not a job. During this free 90-minute strategic consultation, one of our senior coaches will help you map out the best way to grow your company and get your life back. To learn more, go to MauiMasterminds.com/scale now. That's MauiMasterminds.com/scale now.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way. A Which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com. May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey, happy April Fool's Friday. You are still tuned to segment 4 here of the May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed and awesome leader in awesome music biz talk. I'm your host, Scott Robertson. With me in the booth, Florentino Buenaventura, the man, the myth, the miracle. How's it going, Florentino?
It's going awesome, man, because this is an awesome show and it's an awesome day and awesome April. I forgot to follow that theme.
That's right. That's awesome. And it's April Fool's Day. And this whole show we've been talking about stunts and sort of having a sense of humor with your brand and all the fun stuff that April Fools are doing. And then last time we talked about a lot of things that are just regular plain old fools, nothing to do with April.
Yeah. And I think somebody played an April Fool's joke on Jay-Z that we needed another music service out there to go along with Pandora and iTunes and all the other Rhapsody. I mean, the list is going on and on. I don't know what that man thought he was doing when he was when I first heard that they were starting. I was like, yeah, that might not necessarily be the one success story that he's been able to attach his name to. So it's kind of funny.
You know what? It's ego. It's nothing but ego. And when you have a bunch of what I find too is you have people that have a lot of ego. They surround themselves with a lot of sycophants and yes men, and people like in my position that should step up and go, sir, this might not work out. This might not have the right. We might have the right number of subscribers, and then and you need to listen to those people. Because those are the people that save you from, making some of the mistakes that we talk about here today. And I think what I've found in my career is that sometimes you have high ego people that don't listen and they just want to, or they surround themselves with people that just agree with them all the time so they can get paid. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a yes man. And people pay me for my counsel, and I consider it literally malpractice not to provide it. So sometimes feelings get hurt. And as you know from knowing my sense of humor, I don't always care about that. I'm much more about, what is the right thing to do and at least providing, that opinion into the mix. So in this last part of the show here, the last segment, I thought we would talk about, you're inspired by some of the cool stuff we talked about. You're scared to death about some of the nasty stuff that we saw happen, but you're thinking about maybe doing some PR stunts and some April Fool's jokes next year yourselves. And I want to give you a few tips on how to do them the right way. The first tip is to plan for it. What do all these things have in common, like Cat Lab and the mic drop thing and the drunk drummer thing and the music products industry and all the great, stunts that we've sort of seen today in the music products industry that editors have gleefully covered in their news coverage. The thing they have in common is that there's a plan. There's real research behind it. There's an actual plan. There's sometimes months and sometimes an entire year worth of actual planning to put the real resources in place. It's not something that you come up with on Monday and execute on Friday. So if it's important to you and it's something that you want to do to showcase, your brand in a powerful way, do yourself the favor of, putting enough time into the plan. And again, I can't stress enough the importance of real research. And real research is easier to do than ever. You don't have to hire an expensive focus group. You don't have to hire necessarily an expensive market research firm, although there are huge benefits for doing that sometimes. Sometimes you can just listen to people that are talking to you in your Facebook feeds. In your social media is fantastic for market research. One of the best uses of social media from a marketing perspective is to listen. Is to sit back and listen, is to do keyword searches. What are people talking about? Why do they care about this? Why are they so upset about this? What is the thing? You know how much you can learn, how much free information people just share on their social media feeds if you know how to focus it? Social media is a godsend for marketers because you have to be able to listen before you speak. And it's very, very important to do that research. So I'm a huge fan of listening via social media, and of course, listen to your influencers. If you have a relationship with some reporters, reporters have their ear to the ground. They know what's what. They'll explain to you. I think Jay-Z should have listened to a few more of those folks before he went in the title experiment. So that's my first tip to kind of plan for it. Tip number 2 is make sure you really brainstorm and go as creative as you can. The idea for these things is to be really out there. BandLab changing itself to CatLab. Do something. If you're going to do a stunt, be creative with it. This is your opportunity to really, show how creative you can be. And then, my third tip, is to execute it very, very well. Remember all the deadlines. If it's a marketing communications activity, and stunts really are, make sure they're executed with the same degree of, proficiency, that you would put in anything in your marketing mix. The same way that you would handle product reviews, the same way that you would handle a product launch, the same way you would handle a press tour, the same way you would handle these other things. Your stunt needs to have the same kind of thing. And it also needs to have, a budget, a budget and real resources and a real line item in your company's budget to say, we're doing this. If it's going to be a real thing that you do, then again, it needs to be resourced the right way, and it needs to have, a great execution plan associated with it. And the objective can be different. Sometimes on the PR side, we would like to showcase, our brands in more of kind of a jovial, fun way. And we'd like some of our friends in the editorial community to go along with us and run some stories on it. And, really try to kind of bring people along. The idea is entertainment. It's about amusement. You don't replace the cream filling in Oreo cookies with toothpaste if you're not looking for some type of amusement, unless you're just wildly cruel. Maybe you're just that kind of parent. Who's to say? But, that this stuff is all done for entertainment and amusement, and that's fine. And that can be an excellent objective. I like tying it to, the actual objective that we have, for example, with BandLab, is that we're doing this and it's a great idea, but we're doing it to deepen relationships. We're doing it to show that, hey, this is a lot of fun. Music making is fun, and making music on BandLab is a lot of fun. And we're fun, and you come have fun with us. Come have fun in this little sandbox with us over here. It's not like, we're not breaking rocks over here. We're making music. So it's really important to know kind of why you're doing stuff. No matter what it is in your marketing mix, you need to be able to ask the why question and have a really good answer. Well, we're doing this because we are trying to showcase our brand in this way. We're trying to, penetrate this market. Sometimes stunts can really have, huge benefits that way. My next tip is to be ready in case things go bad. Have a contingency plan, and then have a contingency plan for that, and have a contingency plan for that. Think it all the way through, right? Think it all the way through. One trick that I use, especially when I'm doing events for clients, is I sort of time travel myself mentally to the event. You're at the event. What does it look like? How do you park? What does, who greets you at the door? All these kind of things. You need to put yourself mentally in the future. Imagine you're doing this stunt. What could possibly happen? That kind of future-based thinking can be critically important when you're developing your contingency plan. PR is a profession that is built around contingency planning. We have contingency plans. We have contingency plans that never get used and never get seen. And thank God that you never see them, because there's some horrific stuff in those contingency plans. But we're ready. Make no mistake that PR at any given moment is ready in case things go bad. My last tip is to have a sense of humor yourself about this stuff. This is meant to be funny. It's meant to be fun. If somebody gets on and trolls you or something, on a social media thing, have fun with it. You're trying to build relationships. You're trying to do all these kind of things. So that does it for me on this happy April Fool's Friday. You have been tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the leader in music biz talk. We'll see you next week. Take it easy.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Progressive Medical. Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.